Well, good days, my friends. How's everyone doing today? I'm using my old Minolta lens on my camera, so I have to step back a ways, and I don't get a very wide view of field of view, but I decided to make a video anyway, and it's because I was walking through the woods and I noticed this giant tree, and I thought, what better location to make a video in front of this giant freaking tree? And of course, you can't see the whole thing from the camera angle, and you probably can't hear me very well because the volume will have to be adjusted. That's why I don't film with this camera very often anymore. Anyhow, what I really wanted to say, for what it's worth, is to really hard to define. You know, making the most of what we have is all we can do as human beings. You know, we can fret about what we wish we had or who we wish we were, or, you know, some people have aspirations to be famous or rich, and usually those are only because we feel uncomfortable in not knowing, you know, when we don't have a pattern of definite, you know, when our future isn't certain. Then sometimes we get wrapped up in these routines and these wheels within wheels and these patterns within patterns that we begin reinforcing these negative patterns within our own lives. Not negative in the sense that anyone who does certain these things would be negative for them, but maybe for us personally, it's negative. So we start spinning our wheels and we get stuck in our daily routine, the daily grind, you know, as it is. And this is why I think it's so important to break up the monotony, even to walk to the park. Now, I want you to think back to the last time you remember taking a walk to the park. Maybe it was yesterday, maybe today, maybe a month ago or a year ago. The point is you remember it. And if somebody says, do you remember that time we walked to the park, you're more likely to remember that than the time when you were sitting on your couch watching a TV show with someone. But everything has its place and its time, I guess is the point. And we don't always have to be doing something amazingly productive by any means, but stepping outside our normal realm allows us to see things differently, and that's why I go camping. This is why we've been out here for 3 days, just kind of taking it all in and being able to walk away from campsite, go into the woods like this, make a video or take pictures, because that's what I love to do. So I'm actually camping with some family we haven't camped with before. My wife's niece and her boyfriend and her daughter, and he's just like me, you know. It sounds like my camera turned off. Hold on. Nope, it's still recording. I've had an issue where the thing turned off right in the middle, and none of it got recorded. So anyhow, the other guy, Greg, who's camping with us, you know, he's like me. He has his camera constantly glued to him, and he takes pictures of everything. And I see that as, you know, that trait of wanting to capture that moment, to see something amazing. It's the same reason I make these videos. Not because I really will ever watch myself talking in the woods, but because I feel like by sharing these with you, people out there and wherever you may be, maybe you can live somewhat vicariously through me camping, just like I would watch a video of a friend of mine, you know, camping when I can't make it out there. But camping is just a term. It doesn't mean anything. What I mean is going to nature. And it's unfortunate that we even have to use that term, going to see nature now, that we even have to reserve natural areas aside. But there are plenty of people out there that are growing up in concrete jungles who know exactly what I mean. You might see a couple trees, you know, along the roadway that were planted that are probably not even natural to the area. And it's really hard to break away. I've always been impressed by Central Park, actually, in New York City. The fact that they were smart enough to allow that to remain in such a prime location. It's important to have natural spaces. And I live in the Northwest. Now, the BLM land out here is huge. We have a lot of BLM and forestry land, so I know that out east it's a lot different. There's a lot less of that, but there's still plenty of woods and state-owned and, you know, national and state parks. But going out in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of a cut out in the woods somewhere, is a pretty amazing experience. You know, it's like being completely isolated, if you will. And it's good to have friends along. Anyhow, that's just my ramble for the morning. Get out there in nature and take it while you can. And thanks for listening. Talk to y'all later.